We now take it over to Dustin Rickman. Dustin Righteous Rickman, the 6'3", 39-year-old prospect, making his home in Santa Clarita, California, describes himself as an orthodox fighter with a wrestling, boxing, and Muay Thai background. Glorifies God, and in Jesus' name he said he fights. Takes a lot of inspiration from the likes of Bryce Mitchell, it seems, and well as Dan Ige, right?
Yeah, and I'd seen that he was a Fedor fan. So he's coming to strap a guy with fast hands. Who doesn't like Fedor? And shout out that he knows the legends. That's something nice to see. You don't always see guys shout out Fedor.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually said the same exact thing to him. I said, it's not often that you see guys idolize guys like Fedor Emelianenko, a style that it could be boring to the casual fan, but a very dominant one. Someone that I like to say, everyone is going, oh, if Khabib kept on fighting, Khabib kept on fighting. Great example of the type of style that Khabib carried was one like the great Fedor, the last emperor, Emelianenko.
Fedor's a multi-combat Sambo champion, one of the greatest of all time. If he would have been in the modern era of the UFC, people would have probably looked at him and go, he didn't go 10 years unbeaten for no reason. But not every fight fan knows about that.
Yeah, exactly. Rafael Jimenez dropping those truth bombs on us over here at Bakersfield Combat. As we now take it over to Brandon Offutt, King Offutt, making his way to the cage. A little bit of a switch up here in the walk-up music. A little bit calming here for Offutt, but Dustin Rickman came out and went a little bit against that Righteous nickname there.
Yeah, honestly, some fighters just need to be calmed down. Their adrenaline gets pumped up, some music that they're used to and they hear on the daily. Also, I see that this is kind of gospel music, God music. This might, he might be giving a shout out to God, and that's who he's fighting for.
He's been working on his ground game in the lead up to this one. A certified wildland fighter, and carpenter in his free time, says that the TKO loss in his first fight was a waking experience against Zach Brewer. Lost via first round TKO. Said he looks to avenge that loss here tonight and do it for his two boys and stepdaughter over there at home. Says that they carry a lot of inspiration to him in the age range of 14 to 2 years old. So, he's got his hands full over there in Yucca Valley.
Oh, he definitely does, but he's definitely coming out to fight with a purpose. Fighting for your kids and showing your kids that anything is possible, even when you're scared and you're able to, something that is very scary. Your kids have to be able to know and watch and stuff like that and learn, that you go for your dreams, anything's possible.
And actually, my apologies, fight fans. We had a little bit of a troubling angle. Dustin Rickman was actually the one that came to the cage, so it makes sense that he came out to that gospel music. Oh. Dustin Righteous Rickman said he carries God a lot in his life, so as you stated, it does make sense with the gospel music there. Wanted to make that apology and correction there. Brandon King Offutt now there in the blue corner as Jim Cooley looks to make the fight announcement.
He weighed in 196 pounds even. Brandon King Offutt. His opponent across the cage in the red corner hails from Santa Clarita, California. He weighed in 205 rough and ready pounds. Dustin Righteous Rickman.
Dustin Righteous Rickman, the 39-year-old 6'3" light heavyweight prospect out of Santa Clarita, looks to make his MMA debut a successful one as he takes on Brandon King Offutt of American Jiu-Jitsu Collective out of Yucca Valley. The 29-year-old 5'11" prospect giving up 4 inches and 10 years of age to the Righteous Rickman in the red.
It looks like Dustin Rickman takes the center and eats a good leg kick.
Early! Wow!
And straight to a wrestling exchange.
Brandon able to land that early counter to the takedown attempt of Dustin Rickman. Dustin Rickman in the green and black shorts with the red taped gloves, and it looks to be Offutt in the gray, Offutt in the red shorts, so my apologies, with the blue glove tape.
So this position is usually very hard to finish, but it is very possible. Putting down shoulder pressure. He might have been a wrestler. It goes to show that he likes to ride with the shoulders, heavy on his legs, but that might be a setup for a jiu-jitsu guy.
Is there anything that possibly King Offutt, Brandon Offutt, can look for on the ground here? I know he has a jiu-jitsu background over there.
So I notice he does have head control. If he's able to control that head, control those arms, he's definitely able to go for an armbar or triangle. This is the best position he could possibly be in, head control.
Possibility of reaching that leg over, maybe a buggy choke attempt possibly we're seeing from Offutt. Never see that from the big boys often.
Man, if that happens, it'd be spectacular. That's definitely a highlight.
And it looks to be the coaches of Offutt trying to advise Offutt to get off of the ground here, get that underhook in, and it looks like Rickman is trying to build up on that guard here and land that ground and pound.
And it looks like Rickman is landing some good ground and pound, getting some good shots off, being very patient on top, and having great control.
What would you advise for the corner of Brandon Offutt right now, trying to get up, trying to get out of the guard of Rickman? I know you said it seems that he's applying that shoulder pressure. Is that something that could possibly work in his disadvantage when it comes to stamina in these later rounds?
As of right now, he's making Offutt carry his weight. What Offutt needs to do is be able to get to that fence. The fence is your friend. The fence allows you to get up. That adds a third dimension to the fight game.
The first round has now commenced. Wanted to give a shout out here to Dole Enterprises, the Well Services, sponsoring the Bakersfield Combat event here today, and as well as Nutrizone, another big sponsor over here, helping make everything possible over here at the Elite Fitness Center.
That looked like a great first round for Dustin Rickman. It started off sketchy with a low kick. He lost his balance, went straight into the wrestling, had great control. Didn't give up any positioning, any submissions, and it looks to be fresh.
And Brandon Offutt getting work with the combat submission wrestling team over there out of the Los Angeles area, as he is talking to his coaches out of Yucca Valley in the American Jiu-Jitsu Collective now. And it looks to be that his coaches are seeming that they seem to be confident in his game plan. They don't seem to be in a worrisome mood whatsoever, despite Rickman having a good control over Offutt in that first round.
Well, no damage was done in the first round. Just pretty much control, a couple shots. He has a lot that he can still redeem himself coming out in the second round.
And man, you just gotta. One thing you gotta point out is Rickman's physique, man. He looks absolutely ripped at the 205-pound level.
Oh, he looks jacked. He looks like he's in great shape for 39-year-old. Hopefully, I look like that when I'm 39.
That's only a man can dream, right?
And another great low kick. I believe he should keep going to those.
Yes. Oh, whoa! It seems he lost his footing. Wow, another powerful kick there from Righteous Rickman.
One thing I noticed about Rickman, his hands are very low when he's in the center. I mean, I fight like that, but usually wouldn't advise against it.
Especially with that light heavyweight power. I mean, a guy like Brandon Offutt, you've just seen that in that leg kick there. Somebody that carries a lot of power whenever he throws any sort of blow, whether it be a kick or a punch.
Oh yeah, those bigger guys definitely can hit, and anything can happen at any moment. One thing I noticed, they're both moving. I'm starting to see a little fatigue on Rickman. Those muscles might be working against him right now.
It does seem to be that Rickman is getting a little bit fatigued here, trying to engage that clinch here and get those knees in, utilizing that 4-inch height differential and that size that he has on the limbs against Brandon Offutt.
He still has great control. I would advise him to go back to the wrestling. He had a lot of success. Use that fence. Gain your cardio back.
And you are absolutely 100% right about those hands. He has got to get those up, especially with Offutt. He is seeming to gain more, and wow, he is seeming to gain more and more traction in the stand-up, as it looks to be Rickman takes him down here.
It looks like Offutt was building with his low kicks in his hands. He was trying to get confidence with the striking.
It's a possibility Righteous Rickman heard that advice over here from the corner of Godspeed Jimenez. I don't know. It seemed right on cue. As soon as you said takedown, we've seen Rickman go ahead, land that successful double leg, as it looks to be a little bit of deja vu here from that first round between Rickman and Offutt.
Good first round of 10 seconds. It looks really great on this round. Finishing on top and getting a takedown.
What would you, as a judge, if you had to score this fight? A very difficult fight to score.
That round's a lot difficult. Do you score damage or do you score control time? Do you score a takedown or did he do any damage with that takedown? It's to each his own as judge. Depending on what fighting style you like, it's also judging. It really depends. Some fighters, they like to see blood, cuts, you know? And then some other judges like to see control. The beauty of art wrestling and jiu-jitsu and control. It all just depends on judges. I wouldn't want to be one.
This has definitely been a difficult fight to kind of contest. Rickman has done a great job in the control department. Brandon has seemed to land a lot of those counter shots, seem to get Rickman into some trouble quite often. Once again, a reminder, Dustin in the red taped gloves with the camouflage trunks, and Brandon Offutt in the red and black trunks with the blue tape.
One thing that I do notice that both of these fighters are not sitting on the stools. It goes to show their cardio is great for 205.
Both of these men described themselves as orthodox stand-up fighters, said that they were both willing to swing and bang. Both of that, it's being shown tonight. Although Rickman has had success in the takedowns, he definitely has had a couple of shots to land that have done some success on the chin of Brandon Offutt.
And we're underway on round 3. And what I noticed, Offutt is fighting in a left-hand stance.
Yes, coming out in a southpaw stance, breaking away from his orthodox roots. I believe he came out in the orthodox stance to start out this fight. Possibility of just switching it up on Rickman to give him a little bit of a different look on the feet.
A really good left hand.
Another takedown attempt from Rickman here, as it looks to be some cage work from the righteous one.
And then I noticed that Rickman is holding the fence with his right hand. Getting away with a little bit of a fence grab, but the referee notices it.
And Brandon trying to work that guillotine attempt there against Offutt, and Rickman able to get the takedown here on Brandon Offutt. That is the third one. Brandon's got to start defending these takedowns. This control time is starting to add up here in this bout.
With just 2-minute rounds, you have to work to be able to get up on your feet. There's not enough time to play the ground game in this sport, especially in the amateur level. You have to get up and you have to use the fence. And it looks like he might be able to get out. He's riding a little high.
And you gotta. It looked to be that Rickman was seeming to lock in a Americana or a Kimura of some sort over there, but it looked to be Offutt landing a strike, breaking the grip. But yes, it seems that this control time of Rickman has seemed to do wonders for the fight. I mean, it seems Offutt every single time that it has been on the feet, Offutt's been able to wobble him, and Rickman has been able to have success in bringing it to the ground.
And it looks like Offutt is against the time right now. He has to be able to get these shots off. About 10 seconds.
More seconds here in the third round. Offutt and Rickman going at it here to end it over here as the seconds commence, and we get another decision over here in the Bakersfield Combat case. I believe that actually may be our first decision of the night.
It might be. We've been spoiled tonight, honestly. We've had a lot of finishes, but even at that, this fight was great. It showcased a different level to the game. That was our first wrestling match.
That was our first, I believe that was our first fight in general, really, to go to the ground.
Yeah.
Despite for someone being knocked onto it. So quite the showing from both of these light heavyweights. I think if there was any people in the crowd betting, I don't think they had both of these gentlemen going all 3 rounds.
Oh no, definitely not. Yeah, we're here to swing, and we're here to bang, but looks like Rickman is probably getting the nod from the judges.
It looks like those takedowns seem to be a major factor here at the Elite Fitness Center in Bakersfield, California. And the corner of Rickman going by Jeremiah, seeming to be very proud of his guy, the righteous one, Dustin Rickman, after that victory. As we look to take it over to Jim Cooley for our official fight announcement.
Before that, I just wanted to give a note. I love when fighters represent God. It is in my nickname, Godspeed. You know, it's amazing. And then he's able to go out there and fight and to show off, even at 39 years of age, still competing, showing heart. You gotta show you.
Yeah, you gotta love that, especially for a guy like him. He was a forklift operator in his off time. Wanted to thank his mom and his best friend Jeremiah, somebody that he's been working on a lot for this fight. And you gotta respect the hustle. Somebody that's not in a gym. He said that he's self-represented. It's only him and his best friend over there in his corner, and it seemed that God looks to potentially be on his side with the decision. Jim Cooley with the official fight announcement.
After 3 big rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge John Toll scores this bout 29-28 Offutt. Judge Kane Vandal scores this bout 29-28 Rickman. Judge Grady Thomas scores this bout 29-28 for your winner by split decision. the blue corner, Brandon Offutt.
And just like we were talking about earlier, do you score damage or control time? Are you looking at the more active fighter looking to finish the fight, or are you going for the guy that has the control, that is on top, retaining guard? And it looks like the judges went for damage.
It definitely was the damage that got Offutt the win here as he climbs to 1-1. King Offutt